Guys, you got to understand, I'm in the middle of a military control zone that does genocide operations because of bad brain chemical addiction of people that are quite insane. And don't trust people that will use money and technology to mass murder people and say that it's a good science project. Right? So if I take time out of my day to connect to you, you know, you should take it more serious than anything you've done your entire life. You know, you should take it real seriously. That's a Messiah. He knows who I am. He took time in his day. You know, he has to go and connect to the technology in the most rudimentary ways possible to try to save our lives from genocide, to stop us from home invasion, perversion, from feeling powerful by manipulating people emotionally, sexually, what we consider intellectually, academically, so forth, right? So he's a very special and important person. So when he takes time out of his day to connect to you, you need to take that more serious, and you need to, when he believes in you and says, you can live the Lord's Prayer, you can live the faith, I believe you can understand and keep the worship of the faith of Psalms and sustain it with the wisdom of Proverbs, that you have the capacity to do that. Okay, that's something you should take, like, wow, he believes in me. I never know just what he sees in me. And maybe someday on that special night when my song is right, he will find a way while he works and I sleep because I have the right app, right? You're funny. I know. But I got to shave up there because it's getting a little sore under a couple of bars of my chin because still having chemical and aggressive abusive reactions. I can't really keep. I like my beard, but I haven't been able to, and it's cutting. Um, I have Amy. I was joked about that. It was Amy. I earned my gray, and a little Susie Bear. But um, yeah, wow. Um, when you look at time, I told you when I used to walk to the library, sometimes I'd have my headphones in, and Jesus would show me, the different timelines in my brain. He would show me stuff. And people would sit there and say, well, you're being programmed by the people at the fort. It's like, you really think the assholes that manipulate people with Wi-Fi at the fort have a better eternal vision of how things should be done correctly than Jesus Christ of Nazareth? Okay. That's a special kind of ego problem, isn't it? Howard Wolowitz, access granted, hooray, right? So you got to have a retinal scan to get into a building that mass murders people with science projects, and you guys are excited about this. I was sitting there watching Three's Company when Mr. Furley and Jack got stuck in the fridge, and the fridge locks from inside. And you're like, why do they make those fridges like that, those freezers like that, where you can actually get locked in them? I can imagine locking them from the outside so people don't go in there and steal from them because you guys are extorters and exploiters. But when the door closes and you're locked in there, it's like, that don't make no sense. But maybe it's just for comedy on TV. I don't know. But, the thing about it is you're living Psalms and Proverbs, in and out, in and out, in and out and out and in. Remember when they used to have the kids, they'd have the locking doors on the top of those old freezers, and they abandoned those freezers, and kids would climb in them, and the door was shut, and they would suffocate in them. Remember that? That was horrible. Yeah. Remember playing in woodpiles? I try to make sure I have the woodpile stuff. I got to go through that again. There's a spot in there where they have the screws and stuff, and I put them off in another area, and I need to just take all those and deal with them because I already did it once. I'm going to do it again to where there's none whatsoever. So if any of the critters are out there playing, there's no chance of them stepping on a nail or a screw. Oh, I did that as a kid. Yeah, that hurts. Anybody else ever done that? That's not fun. That hurts. That's a step on there, it goes right through your Converse All-Star, and ow, hurts like a son of a bitch, doesn't it? Yeah. So, but you guys got to understand the dysfunction that you're dealing with. This is something that has been accepted by selfish human beings and forced on human beings that are not selfish for hundreds of thousands of years. A long time. Okay. raiding, looping, rude, pillage. She don't want to have sex with me. I'm going to go, spy on him, wait till he's sleeping, kill him, rape her, and she don't want to be with me after that. I'll kill her. If I can't have her, nobody can have her. We've had this kind of mentality for a long time. If I can't fuck him, nobody can fuck him. I'll walk 5,000 people off a cliff to prove my point, to show how powerful I am. And when you engage with people like that don't want to live the freedom of the Lord's Prayer, that don't want to live the love of the faith of Psalms and the wisdom to sustain it because the humility of Proverbs, then your family, it's in everybody's family. Everybody's family has it. My whole family thinks Jesus is saying he's a God in the sky that's their ego. And every time I explain that I'm the guy like Jesus, they glare at me and say I'm an egomaniac. And I have to look at them and go, you do know the science project. Okay. And you can explain it to them 100 times and they still glare at you. Okay, I say God's omniscient, omnipotent in the essence of all life. Okay. You say God is Jesus, and I'm not Jesus. And I never said I was Jesus. I said I was Earl, but I'm like Jesus and you're not. Why? Well, because Jesus says God's omniscient, omnipotent in the essence of all life. And he's not God, and neither is Caesar nor Pharaoh. It's in all the books. Oh, God dang. Why doesn't High Potential explain it to us? Because she's solving crimes for money, selling products held hostage because she can't sustain faithful love with the wisdom of Proverbs or give people the freedom of the Lord's Prayer. Earl, thank you. This is an Edward War Murrow Award-winning assignment. It's like, Earl, you're funny. I know, but shit. I just spent 2 hours connecting to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the damn science projectors invalidated it. And I was like, God dang. I didn't think to go, usually on all the other ones, a lot of them I haven't been. I'll go before the end of the season and I'll put it on Don't Autosave. And I did on this one. And that's happened to me a lot. It happened to me at Vanderbilt. It's happened to me a lot of communities and schools I try to connect to. And when the science community wants to put an 86 on it, it's like, I'm just sand painting. I'm just John Lennon. I'm just doing time. I got Demi and her daughter's picture on the profile. Oh, we're going back and we're doing it again. But you got to understand that my time is more precious and special than yours. You spend all your time plotting, planning to loot and rape and pillage and then dominate with oppression through abuse of delusions of grandeur. And I spend all my time fixing your technology so this doesn't happen to children. The Addams Family cartoon was 1973? I'll have to check that out. They're goofy and they're cheap. They're all together. Okay. The Addams Family. Mexican versus Hispanic. These are the stupidest fucking things. It's wrong. It's just stupid. Human being versus moron who believes money's real. No verses. No. Human being, just be a human being. There's no verses. There's no verses. Rehearse your verse. Then you'll have to curse. Ask for more money to fuck. Human being, no verses. Just no verses. ¿Tú entiendes? Muy bueno. That's Hispanic. You're funny. Jennifer Lopez surprises crowd with Emmy Nunez duet. That's 3 years ago. Okay. Mute. I'm going to have to go hear it. I got to hear Emmy sing. Because she's cute. She's cute. And the Temple of Set Illuminati tried to mindfuck me with her family. And I owe it to them to see them as a human being that's being used by perverts to mindfuck and take time to make time to be there and say, oh, you're cute, how cute. You guys do know that money is not real, right? Okay. I hope so, because it's really nice when money's not real and time is ours and we don't have to pay assholes for it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You get in an airplane and you fly to entertain a bunch of mass murderers in Dubai and Saudi Arabia. And you guys talk about how nice everybody is there, and you're like, yeah, a lot of people say the same thing about when they go to the Mormon church and they go to meet the Quorum of the 12, the Quorum of the 12. And they do the same thing at the Vatican, the Vatican, people say that a lot. Oh, it was a wonderful experience. The architecture was so beautiful. The people were so nice. And how much money did they pay last year out to people that were sexually assaulted to stimulate the economies of Las Vegas, Nevada, and Reno, Nevada? Dark hair and red ruby lips, the passion is there on her lips. She'll be waiting in Reno tonight, waiting in Reno for my arms to find her and hold her. That's where me and Amy got married. Waiting and hoping that I won't be far behind her. And they sexually abused and groomed her, and it affected her kids because they knew how gorgeous her daughter was going to be. And they were challenging Parsons in his ability to be faithful to a wife, even when the daughter is prettier and more loyal to him and wanting to protect him more because she didn't love me more. She was a child being raised by a perfect man, surrounded by scientific sexual predators that were predicating on her mom before I ever married her mom. And then, you're a loser if you don't win at the contest. And you're not trying to win at the contest. She was proud of me when I wrote the book, the ballad, the parable of Juan and Jesus. But I told her I couldn't sell it for money, and then she got all upset with me. And then she said, well, let's start making turkey sandwiches, and we'll go down to the park, and you can preach, and we'll get a big following, and then we can start a church, and all this. And I had to be successful. We needed money, or they would kill us or incarcerate us. Our daughters would have to be prostitutes in the street, like in ancient Germany, when the Germans had to pray for the war. Amy's a Gomez hole. God damn, they're dumb. Life's eternal grace is infinite. Life's eternal grace is infinite. The Spirit lives through molecular structures that survive if you're fighting and fucking, that live if you're faithfully loving. I happen to be a faithful lover. That's why I had no clue about their fighting and fucking stuff. And Jesus would have to tell me in Sierra Vista, do you want to? No, I'm not ready, Jesus. I don't want to know. No. There's still a lot of shit that you guys do that I'm aware of what you do. I just don't want to watch it, hear it, or think about it, or talk about it. It's like, what do we do with this one? I say with this one, we just, they're book burning. Okay, guys. Hitler and his book burning thing. What if it was Pete Townshend's hard drive on his computer? Still breakdance fighting? Magnum, please steal. You think there's more to life than being really, really ridiculously good looking? Watching video of lots of men in their 30s having sex with children? And other men watching it to masturbate through it and doing the Ralph Ellison thing, stepping off the horse, and you stood up on the edge of the abyss and lived, right? And then the one girl at ASU in my women's studies class, we have statues in Peru of adults having sex with children. And I said, well, maybe those are like taboo statues to tell you things that are bad that you shouldn't do. It'll send you to hell. She goes, no, I think we're just more free and liberal than you guys are. You're uptight. Well, I think letting a girl wait till she can survive childbirth before you have sex with her is an act of compassion and mercy. So if you Peruvians don't, go Christopher Lee yourself with Cusco. I ain't fucking trying to hear it. I'll come take all your daughters and I'll keep them safe. And I won't put their dead bodies found on the top of a mountain with coca leaves in their face in a museum and think I'm keeping them safe because I'm not a rich asshole. Right? I'm a gorgeous human being, born this way. It's in the book of Revelation, in case you can read. Okay. Yeah, that's why Ron and Mr. Ponce were so, yes, the guy, he's going to do it. Earl will get it done, and so was Rockefeller and Rothschild. With Mr. Ponce and Ron, it was more of Earl's going to do it. He can go into the horrible, most horrible things where most of us can't get through. He'll be, that's temptation. Don't tempt me, Frodo. It's like, well, when a girl's hit adolescence and she wants to sexually reward you for taking care of the family and not screwing around on her mother and possibly giving her a disease and having 3 outside children and another wife, And she wants to step in and take over because she wants to be a better person for you because you're the best man in town because it's Cochise County, fucking Arizona. I mean, come on. You meet the little girl at the convenience store where Amy worked at Candlewood Suites, being sexually manipulated, predicated on by the Saudi royal families and the people of Dubai Towers and all that. And the little girl sitting there telling me, "You think they could at least wear a fucking condom?" They come here, they instantly come and cheat on their wives. They bring in women that they're gonna go fuck in the hotel, and they don't buy condoms. You know, they'll tell you about their wife and kids, and they go to fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and come back with some girl to fuck. It's horrible. It is horrible. She goes, I'm getting out of this town the first chance I can get. Well, it's the same in every city and every town. It's just it's more concentrated and more of a patent place where you have to look at it and see it and feel it. In cities, they don't talk about it much, and you don't know, and nobody knows. So you don't ask, don't tell. It's like Bill Clinton letting all the homosexuals into the military so they can have more fun having sex in that kind of incarceration instead of in prison, out of sight. There you go, George Clooney. You're a movie star. You're famous, right? Boy, and your wife is gorgeous. She really thinks so? Has she stood for the Lord's Prayer a day in her life? Well, she's neither as gorgeous as Ruth and or Esther. And I don't have any PhDs. I dropped out of school because it's genocidal. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. Ocean's 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th time. It won't last, but it's all right. Fleeting joy and fading ecstasy. Here it goes again. When you come in here and you want help, okay, make sure your tech support's on the same page. If it's not on the same page, while I'm chilling, fixing the technology, being a nice person, you know, I'll have to come back on here and say your faith isn't good. All right. You're trusting me to do all the work and you to go and forget about life for a while I do it. You know, why don't you stand up for a Lord's Prayer? I understand you guys don't think you can, and I get that. And you're all terrified. Are you terrified of the people that are here abusing me, killing you physically? Are you terrified of the people knowing that you knew what they were doing but didn't do anything to stop it? You know, because I did everything necessary by January 22nd, 2013 for everybody to step in and go, "Hey, Messiah, he's for real, it's cool." Like Mr. Ponce and Ron, and Mr. Ponce was already dead, and Ron, I don't know if he's with us anymore either, neither is Sweet Lorraine. You know, Lorraine used to work at these places here. And she told me that stuff. She said, with what happened, with what they did to Amy and Natalie, aren't you concerned about what the people in Air Force foster care might be doing with Natalie? What am I going to do about it? You know, they took Patrick away from me and gave him to Stephanie, and then, you know, saw what happened with Patrick's life, and, you know, and there was nothing I could do about it because I didn't have the money and I couldn't afford the lawyers, and I would destroy all our lives. I wouldn't be able to spend any quality time with Natalie, Noah, Emily, or Kate if I had spent all my time getting money together and trying to fight the courts to get them back from the egregious behaviors that I had. And then, you know, and Amy, I wrote a book about it, but I didn't want to publish it because I couldn't lie and I had to be honest about it. And I thought it would destroy my marriage with Amy, telling the truth about what happened there. Amy didn't care. She just wanted me to publish it and make lots of money. And she could divorce me and go get hot guys in Las Vegas that dance in J-Lo's show because she has the money. If you have enough money, you can have sex with guys that look like that and parumph. They don't just do the girlfriend thing, they can do both. Richard Gere, American Gigolo. I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people always, oh, what they saying? Yeah, you can go have sex with the most gorgeous guys if you have enough money. And they're gorgeous. And they're fun to have sex with. If you like to have sex, Kino Lorbris Horiguari, Reynoso, Mexico. When you eliminate the process of manipulation through human invention, accepted by human beings as proper authority, when you eliminate that, like Suzuki talked about and Krishnamurti talked about that, you'll look at life eternally and there'll be work for all. and all the peace that you say you want, that you're groping for in vain. And you're not groping for it. You're lying. And all you people that think you want it, you're lying to yourself, making up magic bullshit that you're going to live after you die that does not exist. It's scientifically invalid, right? Right? Okay. So Earl's gorgeous. I know. Shit, you don't have to tell me how gorgeous I am. And if you don't understand how gorgeous I am, if you sit and anonymously watch this, okay, go work real hard to sell products on TV and tell your children how much you love them when you come home and barely know them because they're busy being institutionalized and indoctrinated to continue the gorgeousness of your great incarceration, right? Do you understand what the fuck I just said? I hope you fucking do. Because I don't think I went too fucking William F. Buckley with Strom Thurmond on that motherfucker, do you? Okay? For all you Strom Thurmond motherfuckers, okay? If you think you're a really good motherfucking person, okay, and you believe in magic shit, and that magic shit you manipulate everybody, you fuck everybody's head with to be the greatest head fucker in the history of head fuckers, okay? When you turn your child into that same piece of shit that you are, and then you turn around and say Parsons thinks he's all that, he ain't shit. He ain't ever head fucked nobody a day in his life to be the top head fucker of all the head fuckers in the trailer park selling crack cocaine to their own mom so she can go out and get fucked and bring back all the money from getting fucked because you keep her constantly high and keep her just right and keep her on the street, right, JoJo? Okay, do you understand me? Was that Strom Thurmond enough to vote for the asshole who's a dumb bigot who tells everybody what to do with money and owns all the women and all the children and they're his property? And then he has a statue of himself in Washington, D.C. and declared himself the greatest overseer in the history of overseers? You understand what the fuck I'm saying? What about all you trifling ass niggas who think you Ramesses the motherfucking great? What about all you fucking sorry ass Frito Banditos? They think you don't need no fucking badges because you run everything because you're descendants from the Aztec war gods. Hustler postly your ass out of here, right? You know what I'm saying? Did everybody get that? Wakarimasu. Hey. Okay. You're acting like dogs, Parsons. Teach them to be men. If it's tangible, I will. Okay. If you're capable of not being a dog and being a man, I'm a man, yes I am, and I can't help but love you so. Yes I am, right? And if you don't think I am, then you're just so much of a dog, we're just going to have to get the technology to find a way to free the soul from your wretched flesh. So if there's a body that's a temple for that soul, it'll have the opportunity to live the love of me instead of the fuck of you, right? That's why everybody prays to the guy like me. All those years ago, as a god of Roman rape, Vatican stores, we got lots of money to get away with these crimes. You're not getting away with them. It's instant karma, dude. The moment you do something wrong is the moment we all pay for it, especially you. Because you have to keep lying and hiding and manipulating and telling jokes about Donald Trump's signature for money. You tell jokes about people getting mass murdered, about girls getting raped to death in Mexico so people can have award-winning cinema. And then I have some dumbass who thinks it's neat to cut people's heads open and try to put them back together to go back into institutionalization, incarceration, and indoctrination, and tells me I should thank John Daly. And your fucked up kid, okay, he needs to tell everybody in the Air Force this shit is fucked up. We need to recognize the guy who tried to, respectfully engage my father, and my father treated him like he was a dumbass because he doesn't make as much money as my dad does. I don't make money. Money's not real. I just look at it and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, I love you guys very much, right? Okay. Woo, break it down, break it down, break it down. I talked with Barack Obama and Benny Medina yesterday. Yeah. Okay. And then I watched this little thing about what really happened to his life in the French Prince of Bel-Air stuff. And I was like, yeah, you got crushed up bad? You better call the lowrider lawyers, huh? cabron. Okay? Don't feel sorry for yourself because your relatives are assholes. Okay? You get a lot of people, you had this and that and that. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. I did a good job of raising my parents, and you did a horrible job of abusing them, and then I had to help them and go, no, Dad, Ma, here's the way, the truth, and life. That's the comic book store. We don't want to go to the comic book store. Everybody's sexy and has superpowers that mass murder people that aren't sexy and have superpowers that mass murder people. Okay. That's what the comic book store is. All the sexy people have superpowers that can murder the people that have superpowers that aren't sexy. It's the truth, yeah. You know, the Nikki Glaser girl on Hulu, all you ugly people, I see you. I just don't want to see you. It's like, yeah, I don't want to hear you, but you keep fucking talking for money. Okay. It'd be nice if you said, we're all living the Lord's Prayer. I'm as gorgeous as you are. And everybody thinks I'm more fun to have sex with than you. Yeah, Kentucky woman, she shine with her. If they're a complete shallow asshole. Should look at you once in a day. Tell another joke for fuck money. Children are getting raped to death from brothels that are more attractive than you. And you tell jokes. And tell everybody how happy you are to be there with all those A-listers. So they can make movies about it, but have no solution to it. Right? The other night when I was checking to see if the air conditioner was leaking, I said, no, I'm not Jim Caviezel being trained by Richard Harris. There will be another dream for me. Someone will bring it. Yeah, it made me think of Amy and what they were doing to her and how it was affecting the kids in Sheridan. And if you're in with the in crowd and you know, and if you don't cry about that and think there's something wrong with that, you're such a fucking pervert. How can you love your own kids? Right? All right. I love you, man. We'll talk later. I'm going to get back to work. Need I remind you? Okay. Time, the precious gift from the glory of the grace, the faithless steal from us. Okay. We should have fresh air, clean water, very good shelter, healthy food, and not have to breathe the chemicals and the toxins of industry and ask for money to bombard the children at St. Jude's Hospital for radiation. Back in Danny Thomas's time and that girl, it might have held a little bit water because they were, trying to work out their sanity with the insane. Today, that bucket went to the well and the bottom fell out January 22nd, 2013, and you're running on empty. And you're all John McCain's Manchurian candidate buddies. And they're not buddies. They're just murderers. You can't trust any of them. They'll sell you out for a pile of shit they think is a steak. All right? I love you. All right? Peace out.